Hello, and welcome to video 2, which is on green careers, wherein Mukul will share his insights on specific roles in careers which will help us have a greener planet. A little bit about Mukul. There's a lot more that was said in the previous video. For now, it'll be good to say that he is the strategic advisor at Skill Council for Green Jobs. Just as of yesterday, they finished a training program to help people learn skills to become sustainable green roles and create careers in them. What I really like about his work or his saying in terms of sustainability is the tagline. Sustainability is to give more than you get. If we can get this right, we'll get a lot right. So, do the youth consider green jobs? They do have a lot of exposure to this, and right now with the climate crisis across the world, it would be difficult to say that we are not considering green jobs. There is a survey report by the MCS Charitable Foundation, which says that the youth do consider green jobs a job that is good for the planet, which helps tackle climate change, a job in sustainability. And you see that the number of people who consider is more by and large than the number of people who don't consider. But yet you do not have people who take this as a serious career option. And mostly that's because it hasn't been treated or it isn't a mainstream career option. And Mukul in the last video, in video number 1, said that it's going to be a matter of 3 to 7 years maybe before it becomes a mainstream career. Now, how are we going to make it a mainstream career? How are you going to join? What are the roles that you're going to look forward to? Mukul's going to share a lot of insights on that, on the possible roles. You could be a technical person or a non-technical person. It doesn't matter. Can you carve a role to become somebody who impacts the environment and increases our green planet? Mukul, welcome once again. And it's been very, very nice to have you here once again at the Life Vidya Career Chat series. And over to you, please share your insights about possible roles in sustainable and green careers. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vidya, for having me again. It was really nice the last time. Actually, green careers are far more common than we may realize. And I realized that myself because when I actually look at some of the designations that are emerging, I realize, why didn't I think of that before? It's so natural. So, for example, something very common these days is a renewable energy specialist or a sustainability manager or something like an energy efficiency consultant. Now, these roles are neutral in terms of whether they are technical or non-technical, because both domains can actually enter these roles equally easily. It's just a matter of having the right exposures and the passion to get into it. The passion I would rate as the highest criteria, because if you actually have the passion, then everything else follows. If you have a real passion, that is, not just a makeup passion. So, for example, they do the designing, the planning, the monitoring, the managing of renewable energy. And renewable energy could be wind, could be solar, could be hydroelectric, could be hydrogen, it could be any. So a renewable energy specialist is the one who actually focuses on designing systems, planning for their implementation, actually implementing them, and then managing them. So now, like, for example, that was just one. So like this, there are several roles that are emerging, and they become far more common than we may imagine. So I'm inclined to actually even reduce the timeline that I had given earlier of 3 to 5 years. I'd probably bring it down to maybe 2 to 3 years for when green jobs will become mainstream. Green careers will become mainstream. So sounds exciting. I am excited about it. So Vidya, what do you think?
Great to know that within a span of about 10, 12 days, you've reduced the time span by about 3, 4 years.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and I think that's the kind of pace of change that we are seeing in careers and in the need for sustainable careers. And it's very interesting that you talk about the
Absolutely.
renewable energy specialist. And you say that you could be tech or non-tech. It is a matter of how you approach the situation or problem. Is there something that you can help me understand, even for our, listeners later? How does one approach this if I am non-tech? I understand that if I'm tech, I probably know how to set up a system. But if I'm non-tech, then how do I do it?
So the clues are very simple, I think, and I'm not joking about this when I say this was something that was shared by the founder of one of India's largest education companies. I will not name the company, but the founder was my senior at IIT, and he had said at some time that you know experts are called experts. They are thought of as experts because they know something more than other people. But that is all. How much more and what more is not thought about when you think of somebody as an expert. Similarly, if you think of an engineer, what is an engineer? An engineer is not only the guy with a BTech degree or with a BE degree or a master's degree in engineering or whatever. It's not with the degrees. I believe an engineer is anyone who makes things happen. If you make things happen by design, you are an engineer. And to make things happen by design, you don't necessarily need the degree. You just need design thinking. So now there's one clue. That's the first clue that you could take. Design thinking is something that takes you ahead in any field that you choose. So if you choose green careers, if you have the passion for the planet and you apply design thinking, even to your own career, you will be on the right track. So design thinking, just as starters, is one way to enter the developmental area when you are approaching a new field. You use design thinking to plan out your steps, to design your progress. You find the right people, you find experts to learn from. Uh, WhatsApp is not necessarily the best university, but there are established, reputed places where you can learn. They are given credentials uh, by governmental agencies, by global agencies. You could find them globally on the net, or you could find them around you. And I'm talking about government bodies that train, that educate. The Skill Council for Green Jobs is one that comes to mind for me. But there are many other universities where you will get this. You could start looking at Udemy, Coursera, the other online universities that you have, and you will find a lot of courses from Stanford, from MIT, from other places. So sources of learning are something that you need to choose and you need to access very responsibly. So design thinking, then learning. Learning is what you do through sources of learning. After which you start having conversations. You start having conversations with people who are in green jobs or who are in companies where there are green jobs. You start having conversations that demonstrate your passion. Those conversations take you ahead. Those people realize that you actually want to make a difference, and you want to be in this domain where they also want to make a difference. And wherever those matches happen, you find the conversation going to the next level. And progressively you take this ahead, crystallization happens, and you start finding people actually inviting you to make a difference. Now, that was a very quick and very simplified form of how you could enter. And you may even think that it's unreal. I'm just making it up. It doesn't happen like that. But from personal experience, I'm telling you, this happens time and again. That's how it goes. Before you can earn, you don't earn before you learn.
Thank you, Mukul, for sharing, because this is your personal journey and how you shifted career tracks and moved to sustainable and green careers. And it's very useful for us to know that we can make a difference and we can align and we can enter areas that we weren't initially qualified for. So the point is to believe you can do it and to start taking action towards it and to do it persistently and to believe that the fruits will come in the future, but not expect that things will happen very the immediate. The whole point of instant gratification is probably what has killed the planet. So that's the first step that we need to take backwards so that we have a green career. So yes.
Correct.
So a lot of what advice you gave is not just for green careers, it's for anybody who wants to build a career in anything and to learn something new and to have conversations. So I think that's a golden nugget that you've shared with us. And yes, I do know that this is your personal experience and that's how you joined the Skill Council and just completed a course to help people understand sustainability and green careers.
Uh, it's that I feel very strongly about the planet and about what we are doing to the planet. I think uh, we are behaving very irresponsibly. By we, I mean humanity. We are behaving very irresponsibly. We are consuming far more than we are producing. So, I mean, the first time it hit me was when deforestation became a problem, and when people started talking about planting trees and giving back, so growing more. So that is of course a very simple and very evident way of restoring the planet. But actually, we always have to find a way where we can progress and still not damage what is around us and what environment has given us, because progress means change, and the environment will change when progress happens. But how can we make that progress without a damaging change? And that is something that you get involved in, that when you enter the higher responsibilities in green careers, you actually get involved in that. So it's not about preventing or stopping all progress and change from happening. We're not going back to the cave. We are not going back to the Stone Age. That's not the only way of restoring what, but it is to become more sensible. And in my own journey, when I wanted to get into a green career, I looked around and I read the newspaper and I heard the television reports, and I realized that one technology to be green hydrogen. The green hydrogen is suddenly being talked about a lot, is what I said, what I heard. It was a trending search. You do a Google search and you do a search on the trending searches on Google, and you will find that there are one or two things that are trending. If any of them holds your attention, pick that up and get deeper. Start learning faster. Start learning faster than the rest of the world, and you will become an expert bigger than the world. As soon as you know more than maybe everyone around you, you start rising and you start emerging out of that crowd, and you you probably start attracting attention. And that's when you get noticed, is when you make the killing. So that's how it goes. I mean, I don't want to play out the rest of it because I'm sure every one of us can do it in our own ways, very beautifully and very energetically. But that's how to do it. We have to do it. So, Vidya, over to you.
Great. Great to hear your keen interest in green hydrogen and how it kicked off an entire series like a chain reaction. And it's true that a lot of these trending searches can give us an idea of probably what we are passionate about. And the internet does help in a lot of ways. And it's interesting that you talk about, we are not talking of going back to become cavemen, because just yesterday somebody was saying, oh my God, there is so much climate change. I think somewhere in Hong Kong, they have these suits that you wear, which have inbuilt air conditioners. And she was saying, we need to have that in India. And the first thought I had was, now, is that sustainable? Is that sustainable? So, yes, I think there are people who are designing solutions. And when we are designing solutions, we are not sure whether that solution is sustainable. Previously, it wasn't even a question. The point is, can we in our design make it a question and an integral part of design? And that's where I guess when you say talking of design thinking and making it a sustainable focus, that's where it really comes. So the intent. If you enjoyed this video, the Life with Your series, and found it informative, do share, like, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time. Bye-bye.